Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time to join this video broadcast, whether you're here live or on the replay. I really appreciate it. Today, I'm here to speak on a wonderful experience that I'm bringing forth, and it is called the 33 Days of Self-Love Experience, and it is a bit of a challenge, a fun challenge, a good challenge, an exciting challenge, and I'm really happy to bring it forth. I'm really happy to bring it forth because I've done this before. I've led a group of at least 14 people through this before, and I have to tell you, like, even on, like, day 2 and 3, people were telling me, like, "Wow, I love this practice. I love this self-love practice. Like, I'm totally in, I'm totally feeling it, and I'm so excited to be a part of this challenge." Like, when I did this before, that's the type of feedback I was getting even on day 2 and 3, and I'll share what that practice is because I really want more people to consider this practice because it is so powerful. I've done it for me, and, I've done it for me on a continual basis, and it was really transformative for me to do that when I did it, on a daily basis, and there's still times where I pick up this practice and do it supplementally because it really is just it's so helpful, and so I'll share what that practice is that we'll be doing once a day for 33 days together as a group because this is an experience that's both a personal experience and also a group experience. And by that, I mean there'll be an online group where people can share the personal experience they're having uh, together, in this online group, share the insights, the ahas, the breakthroughs that they're having as they do this one core self love practice each day. And it can be done in as little as 5 to 10 minutes at a time. You can, of course, take longer, but if you feel like you're pressed for time, it can be done in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. So, again, this is going to be 33 days, and the purpose of this is to build a new habit, to practice a new way of thinking about ourselves and speaking to ourselves because that's really important. How we think about ourselves, how we view ourselves, how we see ourselves, relate to ourselves is incredibly important. That impacts every aspect of our life. The relationship that we're having in here is happening 24/7 because even if you wake up in the middle of the night, thoughts are probably going to start to appear. Thoughts about you, thoughts about your life, thoughts about circumstances in your life are probably going to appear. It happens to all of us. And even our dreams, our nighttime dreams are often helping us process things that happened throughout the day, the day before. So this relationship is happening 24/7. It's the only relationship that's happening 24/7 because when you're home alone, this relationship is still happening. And so let me share with you the practice that I'm bringing forth. Of course, you could do this on your own, and that's fine. Anyone can do this practice on their own. And there's great power in doing this experience with a group because then you get to do it as a community. You get to do it alongside others, and there's really great energy and momentum. There's intensified energy when people do something together and they connect around it, they share, deeply and vulnerably about it. It just kind of amplifies the entire experience and someone else's ahas or insights they're having in the group could really help you. They might be insights that you'll get to much more quickly by doing this with a group. And so that's why it's a personal and a group experience. And the core self-love practice is writing a love letter to yourself. Yes, writing a love letter to yourself, because what that does is it starts to familiarize the brain with what it's like to speak nicely to yourself. And to do this, it might just be helpful to imagine what would the loving people in my life say to me? What are the types of things that I would love for the people that love me in my life to say? Like, what would I want them to say to me? And then practice saying those things to yourself. And I really do encourage this practice to be done first thing in the morning because it really helps set a positive tone for the day, a kind, it's getting into self-kindness the first thing in the morning, which is really beneficial to really start your day to familiarize your mind with being in that tone, that energy first thing in the morning. And you can just take 5 minutes, even if it was on a few post-it notes, and just write really kind, loving, affirming things to yourself, supporting, encouraging. However, I would recommend having a notebook and going a little bit further. Even if you just write a love letter to yourself in just a couple paragraphs, start the day like that. Take the 5 minutes to be kind to yourself. This is where, to me, self love begins when we just start to remember what it's like to be kind to ourselves. I mean, all of these really negative, harsh voices aren't even our own. We learned to speak to ourselves in such harsh and critical tones from others, from the communities we grew up with, maybe from some family members, maybe from teachers, maybe from, teammates on sports teams. We learned these harsh perspectives from others and then we adopted them and began to take them on for ourselves. And sometimes they live on in our head for years, for decades. And a really powerful way to begin to shift that is, first of all, to become aware of how often you're being negative with yourself, because awareness gives you the opportunity to see that you can make a change if you want to. You can begin to shift the tones and the narratives that you familiarize yourself with. And one of the greatest ways to begin to familiarize yourself with a new tone is to practice it, to practice it daily. And again, I feel that first thing in the morning is really powerful. In fact, I remember at least one person, there was probably more, but at least one person that after the 33 days told me, like, I'm just going to keep doing this because this is so helpful. This is so beneficial. This is so beneficial. And again, in the first few days of the last group challenge that I did, people were telling me, 2 to 3 days in, this is so helpful. This is so meaningful. Like, I love this practice. So that's the core practice, is writing a love letter to ourselves. And again, by being a part of this challenge, this experience, it'll be alongside, others, whoever else decides to join this group experience, this challenge. So it is a commitment to yourself to do this for 33 days and to see what it's like, to see what this practice brings into your life. And so being a part of this experience will help you stay firm with that commitment to yourself, because now you're a part of a challenge. Now you're a part of a commitment to yourself, and a group commitment as well, of a number of people coming together to do this, as a part of a group experience. And so that's the core practice. The online group will be available and I'll be moderating the group. I'll be leading the group. Inside the group, I'll be sharing insights that I've learned about self love along the way. My transformation experience began about 13 years ago, so I've been doing the work to to transform my relationship with me for about 13 years now. I've learned a whole lot along the way. I've deeply studied subjects like metaphysics and self-worth and self-empowerment and confidence and all these other things, and learning how to release negative patterns. I had to think about sometimes when I have to think about all the work I've done, it's like, where do I even begin? Because I've done so much. I've done so much. And what it's all done for me is help me become incredibly aware of what's happening up here throughout the day, how I'm feeling about myself throughout the day, how I'm feeling in general. Like, what's really transformed for me is I have just a really vivid sense of self-awareness each moment throughout the day, and that gives me the power, the self-empowerment to choose how do I want to speak to myself right now? Like, what is the tone I want to set for myself right now? So I've studied so many different things. I've been in the self-empowerment, the self-growth world for, I mean, I've studied it for 13 years, and I've actually been working in it on a professional basis for about uh, coming up on 6 years now. And before that, I was in holistic wellness, which is also about, which also has a lot to do with taking care of oneself, having a balanced life, being kind to the body. So, of course, that all stems from self love and self worth as well. So, I'm really happy that I get to share a lot of the insights that I have learned along the way in these past 13 years that have been so transformative for me. And that's the benefit of working with a coach or a guide, is that you get exposed to the experiences, the wisdom, the insights, the ahas that, a coach or a guide like me has had along the way after 13 years of wanting to have a better relationship with me. And so I'll be sharing a lot of these insights that have taken me years to realize. Some of them have taken me years or even a decade to realize. And they've all been insights that have helped me lift a whole lot of ways that I was oppressing myself both mentally and emotionally with really harsh beliefs, really harsh tones about myself, a lot of self critical thoughts that really just caused me to feel defeated in a lot of ways, not good enough in a lot of ways. And how we feel about ourselves affects every area of our life. It affects our relationships, it affects our career, it affects our personal state of health and well being. Because if we're not feeling good about ourselves, we may not take very good care of ourselves. Taking good care of ourselves, valuing our body, valuing our health and our well-being, I feel really stems from the relationship that we're having with ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and whether we feel we're good enough and we're worthy, and all of these different ways that we can view ourselves each and every day. So, this is why I am such a proponent of this work and of this practice, because it helps to begin to shift the relationship with one's self. I have been doing it, I continue to do it. I have these practices every day because I'm continuing to up level in my life and to say yes to new things, to bigger things, to things I've never done before. And so I have new layers of self doubt come up. I have new layers of criticism come up that are still like in the background that I get to look at and question and begin to shift. So this work is still very relevant to my life, continues to be, and that's why I'm so passionate about being a guide or a coach for others. So all that to say, throughout the 33-day experience, I will be sharing insights that I've learned along the way in the form of written posts, graphic posts, and even some video posts that will be made specifically for this group. So this will be a part of the experience as well, like an exclusive part of signing up for and saying yes to this experience. And in addition to that, there'll be some really cool bonus things that are available. Now, these will not be required, they'll just be available for whoever has interest. One of them will be that I will poll the people in the group and, find some times that may work for a number of people, some ideal times that may work for a number of people to jump on a a live video call with me leading the call, just to reflect on this experience together. So I'll do my best to find a time. Again, I'll pull people in the group and I'll do my best to find a time that will, hopefully work for at least, a handful of people that want to be on such a call so that we can reflect on this experience together. Just have some time live together to just reflect on self love, how we want to shift things with ourselves, what's going on for us in this experience, any of the insights that we're learning, remembering, becoming aware of. So that'll be a bonus thing. And again, I'll do my best to, find some times that'll work for anyone who wants to join such a call. And then a second bonus will be that you'll get a 20-minute meet and greet call with me so I can get to know you a little bit, you can get to know me a little bit. And the main intention of this call will just be for me to understand why you want to be in this group, why saying yes to this experience was important to you, because the more I understand your intentions, where you are, where you're coming from, then I can curate the content that I'll be sharing in the group in a way that's more personalized to the group. Because if I understand where you're coming from, then again, I can craft content that supports the intentions of the group together once I understand more people's intentions. Now, to join this experience, there will be a bit of an application, a brief application that'll also give you a chance to share your intentions for joining the group. So That will be a step one essentially, after you've let me know that you want to be a part of this experience by sending me a message, a direct message or an email to say, hey, I want to be a part of this. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to say yes to this for me. Step two will be a brief application, which again will give me some insights as well, written insights that you'll put in the application. And in addition to that, of course, it would be lovely for me to get to know people who are in the group and just, hear word for word, verbatim, live from you, why you want to do this work, why this work is important to you. Just because, again, it's just nice to have that extra layer of communication, that extra layer of, just, getting to know each other. Because I'll be in the group, you'll be in the group. So that'll be optional as well if you want to get to know me a little bit more and just, share where you're at and where you're coming from. So that'll be another bonus opportunity. So, who is this for? This is for anyone that's like, man, I just want to have a better relationship with me. It's that simple. I want to feel what it's like to have more love for myself, compassion for myself, to be kind to myself, to encourage myself, and just to feel better, especially in the areas where you still tend to feel low about yourself. Those can be really helpful areas to bring attention to. So, in these areas where you're not feeling good about yourself, what are the most loving things you can say? What are the most loving things you can say? This will be a great kickstart to having that better relationship with you because you'll get to practice it. I'll be your coach, I'll be your guide inside this experience. Again, cheering you on, helping create and sustain the momentum for anyone who wants to be a part of this experience. And there'll be a group, the idea is there's a group for you to go through this experience with so that you're not feeling so alone as you do it. You can do it alone. You can just decide that you want to start writing love letters to yourself. You could do that on your own, and I would greatly encourage that. And then also there's this group experience, which I'm so excited to host, to lead, and to bring others through. So that's a bit about the experience. Do have a couple of technical details which I made some notes about in case you're like, okay, how much is it? You know, what do I do? What are the dates? All these things. So this is going to launch on the 18th of October. So that is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So again, the 18th of October. And it's 33 days. I counted the days. So that would take us through November 19th. So if you're in the US, that'll be just before Thanksgiving in the US, just probably like 5 or 6 days before Thanksgiving. And, if you're outside of the US, then Thanksgiving is not really relevant to you. But those are the dates in the US, the 18th of October through the 19th of November. And in terms of the cost, the financial investment to join this program, it'll be right now, starting today, and going through the 9th of October. There is early bird pricing of $79 US to sign up and say yes for this experience. So just $79 for this 33-day experience, and that's the early bird pricing. After after October 9th, the price will go up $20 to $99 for this experience, and the $99 pricing will be available through October 16th. Just I want everyone signed up by the 16th at the latest, just so I know who all will be in the group as we launch on the 18th. So again, $79 early bird pricing starting today and available through the end of day East Coast time. I'm on the East Coast in the US. So available through end of day on the 9th of October East Coast time. And then again after that, the pricing will be $99 for this 33-day experience. And that pricing will be available through October 16th. So the first step, if you want to say yes, is to send me a message. If you're seeing this on Facebook, just send me a direct message and say, hey, I'm interested, I want to apply, and I can send you the link to the application. We can just have a brief chat, say hi, and then, I can send you the application just to make sure this experience will be a good fit for you. If you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or some other network, you can send me an email. My email will be available in the description of this video. And so just send me an email with the subject line of 33-day self-love experience, just so I know that's what you're writing about. And again, we can have a brief exchange via email, and I can send you the application link. If you're reaching out through email, we could also maybe just have like a brief phone call too, if that's faster, if that's easier for you. And then if it feels like you're a good fit, I can send you the application. So the link to the application. So that is step one. Step two, step one, message me. Step two will be the application if it feels like, it's a good fit after the brief exchange we have online or on the phone. So yeah, that's how you would begin. That's how you would begin. So thank you so much for sometimes I get tongue-tied when I'm excited. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I'm really excited to launch this, to bring this to the world. Again, I've done it before. It was great fun. It was really rewarding and fulfilling for me to see other people having the experiences that they had and to give me such incredible feedback. So I'm excited to do this again. And if you're feeling the call, then please do reach out. And I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Much love and namaste.